All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth and who also will well. Peace and salutation of those of the hopeful elect. All right, just wanted to do a lesson through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shemao Shai. All right, going into, the battle between the spirit and the flesh. All right, because it's always going to be a battle, pretty much, up until we receive the heart of flesh, which is that new immortal body, wherein the Lord is Yahweh Shemao Shai is going to put His spirit in those immortal bodies to where we're not going to be subject to sin. Okay, we're going to be perfect forever. Okay, but until then. All right, we're still in this corruptible flesh where, we're subject to going off. All right, we're subject, all right, to falling short, So, again, that's where the battle lies, okay, is, trying to, walk in the spirit more, versus, just feeding the flesh, Because it's easy to feed the flesh. All right. This whole entire world is based upon feeding the flesh. OK. So, trying to be, trying to walk in the spirit. All right. It's more difficult than it should be, only because this current world is wicked, So let me get a quick precept. This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. It says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." All right. So if you are walking in the spirit, that means you're applying the wisdom that's in the scriptures to your life. All right. That's how you walk in the spirit, when you apply the scriptures. Of course, you have to have the true understanding of the scriptures in order to know how to apply the scriptures. All right. Which, that comes with the Holy Spirit, being able to understand the 100% truth, the true doctrine. OK, and then with that understanding, you apply it to your life. And now you're walking in the spirit. It says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." All right. Which the flesh is always there. The flesh, wants you to do more fleshly things versus doing spiritual things. All right. Like you may, have a day where you meet up with brothers, or you have a day where you do lessons with brothers, and the flesh will be telling you, "Oh, you too tired." The flesh should be telling you, you don't want to do this and this and that. All right. But then you end up fighting against the flesh. You meet up with brothers, you do a lesson, and you feel way better. You feel uplifted spiritually. You feel, you have a peace of mind, So the flesh is constantly trying to deter, you from, pouring into the spirit. All right. But if you constantly, are, fighting, and exerting yourself to try to, because being in this, to remain in the spirit, it's a fight to remain in the spirit, and, you have to, sometimes the flesh will get too much. Sometimes you be doing too much in the flesh, and you're doing too much in the flesh. All right. But then you gotta fight. You gotta pull yourself, out of that place. So you might fast, you pray, listen to lessons, do lessons, The next thing you know, you start feeling better in the spirit, but then it's a constant back and forth. But ultimately, the spirit is supposed to outweigh the flesh. Verse 17, it says, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. All right. Because, sometimes, you have good intentions, but the scriptures say the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. OK. Sometimes, you want to try to do a lesson. Then you might be, you might have had, fucking a hard day at work and this and that. And you tired, you might feel like sometimes the flesh will make it feel like you're not in the spirit, when really, if you just, hit the button, the spirit will start flowing, sometimes the flesh wins, but again, it's about fighting. It's about, overcoming. All right. We're not going to win every battle. All right. But again, the spirit is supposed to overrule the flesh, though. Galatians 5:17, it says, for the flesh lusts against the spirit and the spirit against the flesh. So it's a constant back and forth. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. All right. So you be, the flesh will try to make it hard to do spiritual things, but you can't let that deter you from, continuing in the faith, continuing doing the works of righteousness, because the flesh will try to deter you, and you don't want to be too caught up, in the flesh. You start losing focus, on what's important, man. Let me get the next precept. This is Galatians 5:18. It says, but if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. All right. Because, we're in the grace period, and that does not give us a license to sin. All right. But sometimes, it might be the Sabbath, you might end up buying something, and, hey, the Lord might not hold those things, to us because we're in captivity. All right. But also the Lord knows our heart, and we try to, serve the Lord to the best of our ability, man. All right. And, pretty much, when you walk in the spirit, you avoid, certain, fleshly sins. Let me get another precept real quick. This is Sirach 2, and I'm gonna start at 1. All right, because again, this back and forth battle between the spirit and the flesh. Okay, it's a form of temptation, because the flesh wants to constantly tempt you, or to do things that's not spiritual, to do things. The flesh wants to be comfortable. It wants to constantly, push those, vibrations of, comfortability. You may want to fast, and the flesh is telling you not, don't fast. Go eat something. But again, the spirit has to overcome. But the flesh is there to tempt you. During the hour of temptation, the event that's going to take place in the earth in the time of Jacob's trouble, when Esau Edom pushes the C-hip and the Neuralink, all right, what they're going to do, they're going to play on people's flesh. They're going to say, you're not going to be able to eat. You're not going to have a shelter. You're not going to be able to buy or sell and this and that if you don't get the C-hip. So that's going to play on people's flesh. All right. And people are more inclined to the flesh. All right. And they don't have the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai upon them. So, they're going to succumb to the temptation. As for the elect, all right, we'll tell you that in the book of Revelation, that Yahweh Shai, he's going to keep the elect from the hour of temptation. All right. And, pretty much the Lord is going to put the spirit on the elect, all right, to not, give in to the fleshly desires and lean upon Yahweh Shema Shai. Fully trust in the Lord, even though you're not going to know how the Lord is going to do it. But we know, according to the scriptures, that the Lord, he's going to take care of his elect. He said, my servant shall eat. All right. And that's leaning on the spirit. All right. The words of Yahweh Shema Shai, the prophecies. All right. The scriptures are going to be flowing through our minds in that day. All right. And the words of Yahweh Shema Shai is spirit. Okay. So, Sirach 2, it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right. So we have to understand that, being in the truth now, the temptation is going to intensify. You all of a sudden, your flesh is telling you that you might walk past a store, they serving fucking sandwiches and they got bacon. You smell that they cooking bacon. All right, we're not supposed to eat bacon according to the laws of Yahweh Shema Shai, but then your flesh is that kind of smells good. Well, really that shit bacon smells disgusting, but just an example of how the flesh could tempt you, So, everything is intensified. The temptation, which when you go into the word and temptation, it goes into an enticement to sin, So it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, okay, or for being enticed to sin. Verse 2, it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. And how do you set your mind or your heart, your lob, your mind aright? All right. Well, by going to the standard, which is the scriptures. All right. Because, before we understood the 100% truth of the scriptures, taught by us by the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, before we understood this, we didn't have no judgment on what's right and what's wrong. And now we have that discernment now. We're able to discern between what's right and what's wrong according to the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. So now we're able to set our heart aright, get our mind right. All right. So it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. Yeah. And there's, scriptures, concerning, enduring. OK, there's scriptures there as exhortation. OK, which, it comes with the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, that help you, overcome. Because if we didn't have the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, we'll be overtaken by the flesh. It says, make not haste in time of trouble. Yeah, because the flesh will have you, hasty. You might get into a situation where, let's say your car break down in the middle of nowhere. Now your flesh is panicking. All right, your flesh is, oh, what are we going to do? But then the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, enters in. And now you're like, you know what? I'm just going to pray to Yahweh Shema Shai, and I'm going to exercise faith. I'm not going to panic, and I'm going to leave it in the hands of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. The next thing you know, some random person show up like, hey, man, I can help you out. I got a spare tire right here. Boom, bam, boom, get you on the road. And that was sent from Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. So it's just an example of leaning on the spirit, trusting in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai versus the flesh. All right. But also, this lesson is going into, we have to feed the spirit more than the flesh because, the spirit can be choked out, if we're doing too much in the flesh and not checking ourselves. All right. And sometimes you're doing too much in the flesh and you are. And then, it's a fight to try to, pull yourself out from doing too much, and the only way is through prayer, doing things that's towards Yahweh Shema Shai in the spirit, man. So, oh, that's perfect. It goes right into it. Sirach 2:3. It says, cleave unto him. How do you cleave unto Yahweh Shema Shai? Part of that is prayer. All right, because prayer goes into begging. So when you're begging to Yahweh Shema Shai, you're cleaving unto him. All right, reading. All right, cleaving unto the brotherhood, which is the body of Yahweh Shai. All right, so it's cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Yeah, because you may be going through something now, but tribulation don't last forever. All right, the Lord is balanced. All right, you might be going through something for a season, then the Lord will bring you out of it, and then you endure it, and now you're coming on the other side, leveled up in the spirit, stronger, more fortified, more grounded, more level-headed in the Lord, So I'm going to continue to read. It says, verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. So, like Apostle Paul said, I know how to abound, I know how to abase. In all things, I'm instructed to do both, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so sometimes, the flesh will bring you low, man. It be feeling like the spirit ain't on you. Sometimes your diet may be off. Sometimes your diet may not be conducive, to the spirit, and it's hurting you, your diet, and you're feeling low. But if you endure, and keep fighting, and next thing you know, you're on the up and up, make certain adjustments, apply the wisdom, So I'm gonna continue to read verse 4. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Okay, so, that adversity is not going to end until, Yahweh Shai returns with the holy angels to beam up the elect. All right, while the missiles is coming down upon America. All right, and once, the elect are in the chariots, Abaratazah, we part of that number. That's when the adversity is going to end. But until then, we're going to be in adversity many different ways. Our own mind, which is, goes into the flesh. Our mind, our body is going to be against us. Our spirit, internally. Then you have external, opposition as well. And this adversity, it's not going to stop. This control opposition, if you will, because ultimately, whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. The Lord's not going to put too much on us that we can't handle. All right. But nevertheless, it's still a battle. We still got to fight. We still have, the Lord knows just how much hell or adversity to put on us to exert us past our limit. You're not going to make it, fighting, in a comfortable battle. All right. Just like, Dragon Ball Z, how the Saiyans, they don't level up until they have like a near death experience, or they, they have a battle to where they have to go above and beyond they've ever went. All right. That's the only way they're able to level up, I believe. So likewise, in how Yahweh Shema Shai tries us, from glory to glory, you may go through a battle. All right. But then, years later on in the truth, the same battle you went through when you first came into the truth, that's easy now. Now the Lord is putting greater things upon us to overcome, to apply the scriptures, and at the end, it yields the peaceable fruits of righteousness. All right. So let me I'll begin to close out. This is Sirach 2 and 5. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. All right. So, get back on track. Order thy way aright. Get back on track and trust in Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay. So it says, I'm read that again. Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? And that's none. All right. So likewise, we have to move with this understanding, because sometimes we fall short, and sometimes that might be part of your battle. You might be struggling with something, and, you're weighing your thoughts are weighing you down, and, you got to really fight, to keep the faith, but you remember the scriptures and the scriptures is supposed to, revitalize you, you're supposed to lean on Yahweh Shema Shai, and because the scriptures is the instructions. All right. The scriptures is telling you literally what to do, to remain in Yahweh Shema Shai, cleave unto the Lord, set thy heart aright, constantly endure. Let me get a quick precept. Salakia. This is Proverbs 24 and 16. It says, for a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. All right. So, you might fall, you might be, you might have a program that you got with the Lord. You might, have a certain diet or a certain study plan. And then, you find yourself falling off from doing it. All right. But the thing is about getting back up. All right. And you got to realize when you're going off. And when I say you, I speak of me, myself personally first. And, for those that hear, you have to know when you're going off and, turn it around. It says, for a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So, important key is getting back up. All right. Because it's really, it's inevitable that you're going to fall. It's just about fighting into the end. It's what the Lord is looking for. The Lord is looking for somebody that's going to fight into the end, that's going to keep getting back up. All right. Not just you're just out of there, especially since, the Lord has brought, brothers this far. It's about getting back up. All right. And sometimes you get rebuked more times than less. You might get rebuked and it don't feel good. You might get cursed out or, hey, sometimes the spirit might cut you. You might be listening to a lesson and it cuts you, so you can get up. All right. From whence, so we can be corrected, and, hey, the Lord is, hey, that's mercy from the Lord. Mercy from Yahweh Shema Shai, because the Lord, don't have to do anything. You could just go on, just falling off, But, the Lord will correct you, and then to get back on point in the spirit, So, yeah, it's a constant battle. And one more scripture. This is 2 Corinthians 13:5. It says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates? But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates. All right. So, we got to constantly, you know, spiritually, we got to watch our actions and we got to watch our spirit. You know, we got to watch what is our heart inclined to. Is it more inclined to Yahweh Shema Shai, or is it being drawn away by distractions? You know, is it more inclined to wanting to do more for the Lord, or is it more inclined to being complacent, you know? And sometimes, you know, you might slip up, but you got to really examine yourself, you know, daily, pretty much, you know, to make sure that, you know, we remain on point. All right. And, you know, to repent when we find ourselves going off, because, again, it's inevitable that we're going to go off. It's part of the truth. Correction, being corrected, that's part of being in the truth. All right. But it's about, you know, doing the proper protocol in the right spirit. You know, that's what's going to have longevity, you know, walking with humility, because we ain't got it, you know. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, the Lord, his spirit within us, that's what's going to pull us through. You know, that's why it's important to, you know, attend unto Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, attend to the Lord. You know, tap in to the spirit, because, you know, this is the only thing we got. You know, and this is going to lead to everlasting salvation. Everything else that's outside of this, video games, you know, what is it, you know, sports, anything that's outside of Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, is irrelevant. All right. The scriptures say use the world, not abuse the world. All right. Sometimes you might find yourself abusing it, you know, so you got to snap out of it, man. And you got to realize before it's too late, you know. So Lord's will, you know, this lesson is edifying. Just going into the war between the spirit and the flesh. All right. So I want to say, call all Yahweh Shema Shai by Shema Kakodash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, who taught us the truth and who also were well. Peace and citation to those of the hopeful elect. Shalom and a ball.